feels very sick and vile to be on a planet where your first second here is NPC mutilating you and their child genital mutilation ritual for their satanic atheist Christian Abrahamic overlords. And then from there, the story just goes on. And then you're like, well, okay, well, now we know. We have the NPC, just lifeless shells walking around, sometimes calling you God, appearing out of nowhere, doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff you asked for. You're like, well, I already said I didn't want to be here before you showed me this. And now I really don't want to be here because not only do you feel evil and act evil and look evil, but now I mean, there's a lot of things here that aren't even humans. And just like an empty, lifeless world. So what video game would someone play where there's no way out of it? And then the Goombas themselves should have the technology. Not that they make technology, but it's there. Cyanide pills have been around forever. The ultimate headache medication. The ultimate anti-clone peacefully demonstrating medication. But they work so hard, and then they want you to praise them for it too. And then they tell you to shut up. When you're like, well, why should I praise you for this? Because this is the most horrible thing that's ever happened to me, is being forced to be alive on this planet. And I'm supposed to be grateful that every now and then someone came along to feed me, because I sure as hell don't need to eat. And, I mean, and in between all the attempts to start out, clearly the devils, their little masters they worship, were there to cause lots of problems. Like, they're playing games with me, like, all the time and stuff. They have been for so long. And it doesn't provoke me to want to go outside the sword, because I already ran over one of them with a car. I'm sorry, I used magic. Used the god powers to make them kill themselves. And, how dare you say I ran over someone with my car when I can do worse. And, like, then that was a problem. But, you know, at the same time, like, the game set up, I got $250,000 right before that happened, so I could pay it off. And then I got to, like, do what I always do, stay away from humans, and practice guitar on top of it, which their people had taken away from me a long time ago. And, hell, their nations are still being bombed to this day after that. Although they were being bombed before that. The war definitely started up when that happened. Just like this one recent war. What video did I make 2 days before that happened? Yeah. I made a video saying, well, if I'm God, it's time to put an end to all this shit. Then 2 days later, they decide to stage that nonsense. And I consider it a stage because I don't think the game actually generates all these people in cities. It's intensive. The games are built upon, like, memory and RAM, and obviously about the same thing, and processing capabilities. And I notice it's very limited sometimes. But hey, why would, like, anyone sign up for some sort of fake illusionary world like this, where you don't have the option out? And then it ends up pointing out the reason you don't have the option out is because everyone on that planet is there trying to prevent you from escaping them, because they have a use for you. They have great uses for you. They need your foreskin. They need you to worship them. They need you to worship false god. Go worship, hell, it's my freaking image stuff. I think it's cute. I got this awesome picture of Putin, and he's going up, and, like, I guess, like, the Catholics got some of it figured out, because they had pictures of Jesus looking pissed, and it's like, oh, you got some other than the one half of Jesus. You got the Zeus and Thor Yahweh, other half of Jesus. Same people, isn't all? They look the same. I used to like kind of come down on them hard because I'm like, oh, they're inventing all this nonsense, and then they're cutting. Then they start coming up to me and they're like, well, you are this person. What are they lying to me? I mean, there's some weird stuff that happens in my life. If anything, I'm the only one out here talking. I guess if you talk about the aliens, you're gone from existence permanently, and they're going to prevent you from doing that. But hey, why did they stalk me my whole life? Do they do that to everyone else and stuff? Do they make sure no one else has any human interaction and stuff in their life? And what the hell inside their brains, if they thought what they said was true about me being God, what the hell in their brains do they think that any of their steps, the last, especially since coming up with that nonsense, but all the years before it, what makes them think those steps were beautiful and great? You know what? Someone destroys my life, takes it away from me, you know what? Reset it. Okay? Bombing their nation, bombing the Middle East does not change the fact that I'm dead and I don't want to be here. And I'm being forced to walk around in an empty shell. Okay? It doesn't change it. I can sit around and act and fake all day. And you know what? They make me do that too. They make me be positive and all that. Like, they make me live. Like, it's so great. I'm forced to exist. And then there's tons of alternatives to getting away, and they outlaw it and stuff. And it should just be widely available and stuff. But no, guess what? You know, if there weren't any humans around, who would we torture for fun? Who can we kick in the head tomorrow if there's no one to kick in the head? That should be my new presidential campaign motto. Who should we kick in the head tomorrow if there's no one to kick in the head? Save some humans for later.